It's Jim Ross from Excel Self-Storage Auctions. In this video, I just want to talk a little bit about the new thing with self-storage auctions and how that's moved on to, well, at least there's an option now to do your self-storage auctions online. Doing the online auctions. I'm not going to name names, but there's plenty of them out there. Google them, you'll find them out there, these online auction houses for self-storage units. Anyway, I get calls all the time to, bring my sites over to the online world, and I'm just not going to do it. I don't see myself ever doing it, at least for the time being. It just seems like such a gray area legally right now of going through with that. Again, in most statutes, again, there's so many of them, but just look in your statute for your self-storage lien laws. And more often than not, it does say the self-storage auction must be held at the facility at a certain time and a certain date. And again, in the self-storage auctions for online, it's happening in the virtual online world. That's kind of problem number one. And the way they get around it is they say, well, yes, it gets paid and sold online, but the actual transaction of here is the money, because again they require that whoever wins has to go down to the facility itself and pay their bid to the manager. So the kind of way around that is they're saying that, well, the transaction doesn't really occur until at the facility and here's my money. But again, you're still saying sold online in the virtual world, and it just seems like such a gray area to me, and I'm staying away. Another problem that I see happening with the online sales is, again, for that tenant whose goods are going to sale for auction, it's up to them. They can actually pay on that unit right up to the last second before you say sold or click and call it done auction, what have you. They have that right up until right before. And it just seems, again, kind of like, what if they make that payment online? What if they screw up that way and make the payment online through your storage software? If they come in and they make that payment right before the self-storage auction, but yet it still goes on in the online world and gets sold. Again, I know the responsibility is that manager to hurry and go online and type in and delete it and get it off the auction, but it's I'd much rather play it safe. What happens if they do make that payment and it doesn't get pulled off the online storage auction, and then it gets sold online, and it just seems it's a lawsuit waiting to happen if it hasn't happened already. So I'm sure it is happening, but and it can happen to me because again, I'm staying away from any online self-storage auction sales. So, and again, if it's working for you and anyone out there can ease my mind, place comments in this video. Contact me at jross@excelselfstorageauctions.com. Let's talk about it. But again, it's such a new. I don't think it's going to go anywhere. It's here to stay for the time being. It is something we have to really look at, but I just haven't been convinced that it's the way to go. I know a lot of the auction buyers that I talk to, they'd much rather roll the unit up and see it right then and there. There's one actually to be able to see it, look around. And it can be so much more value of that unit than crappy video that's you're recording and throwing up online, or a still picture and throwing up online and then getting bids off that way. It just seems like you're creating much more value. You're going to get much more of a higher dollar of someone being right there. But then that being said, I've heard people say that they can make more money online. I don't know, but bottom line is just the legalities behind it of those gray areas I already talked about. That's enough for me to say not right now. But yeah, I'm always open to anything, and people that are convinced that's the totally way to go, contact me. I'd love to hear what you have to say. All right, so thanks a lot.